John Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says for the third straight year, firearms killed more children and teens ages 1 to 17 than any other causes, including car crashes and cancer. As of last month, CNN reports there's been at least 50 school shootings this year alone, leaving 24 dead and over at least 66 injured. I know you're a former current educator. How will you be able to ensure our district's safety and make sure that when parents are sending their kids to school that they're feeling safe?
I'm so glad you brought this up, because one of the things that's been on my heart is that we really need to do much more to address gun violence. And for me, again, as an educator, I've got hundreds of students that come through my door every week, and I have to help make sure that those kids are safe and make sure those kids are taken care of. And sometimes my school takes specific measures to make sure of that. But right now, when I see what's happening in public schools or with young people or with gang activity, it's so sad. And we need to go after that. And people would say, well, Jerry, you're a Republican, and you care about addressing gun violence. And I would say, absolutely. Absolutely. And here's some ways that we can actually do that and achieve the result of reducing gun violence. I think the first thing we can do is that we need to address school safety. There's been school safety legislation that's been out there that, if passed, could help to reduce or eliminate some of those school shootings that we'd seen or heard about in the past nationally over the past 2 decades. And we can go ahead and focus on making sure we have one point of entry into a school, bulletproof glass, school resource officers there, and a number of other measures that actually would stop school shooters from actually gaining entrance and being able to hurt anyone. Secondly, we need to do a much better job with addressing mental health issues. So we look at what's been happening with some of these mass shootings across our country, and a lot of those shooters have mental health issues, whereas if we would have addressed that earlier, they wouldn't have gotten access to a gun in the first place, and they wouldn't have had such big issues where they would have had some sort of school shoot or some sort of shooting happen. So we need to do much better with that, and that those who are mentally ill who shouldn't have a gun don't end up getting that gun. And then thirdly, I think another thing I really care about is that so much of gun violence is actually related to repeat offenses or gang activity. And I'm very significantly in favor of reforming our prison system very similarly to what they've done in DuPage County with Sheriff Jim Mendrick. Sheriff Jim Mendrick has endorsed me, and I'm very much on board with what he is doing in his jail, because what he's done is he's focused a lot on doing better mental health help for those who are on substance abuse, so that they can go ahead, get off that, deal with the emotional issues so they actually don't continue in that addictive cycle. And then also for those who are staying in the jail, whether it be a year or longer, whatever it is, they have 80 classes to help them go ahead and get reformed or rehabilitated when it comes to lifestyle choices. They get job training, they get skills training, they get certificate training, they get college credit, so that when they get done, they're literally employers begging to hire those people, including felons, so they get into a good job, a very high-paying job. They're taking care of their kids. They're coming home. They're getting a good Christmas for their kids or whatever else it is. And the recidivism rate in DuPage County in that particular area related to that jail went from 75% down to 15%. And again, a lot of those people were people who were in because of gun-related offenses, and now they're not doing them again. So that's another significant way where we can go ahead and significantly reduce gun violence, and I'm all for that.
Interesting. Would you support a universal background check, Mr. Evans?
So for me, of course, I care about making sure we have, background checks when it comes to guns. I know we already have background checks as they are, so I do support background checks in general. But, for me, I want to make sure we don't go to the point of like government overreach with any type of background check. But in general, I do support background checks on the ones we have right now.